Good Gab, sponsored by Skillskin, a nonprofit organization empowering individuals with disabilities through employment. By the time we're reading this, watching this, listening to this, deep into fall, snow might have come. But it's okay because we're heating it up today. We're talking about Spokane County Libraries. We have an awesome person with us today. This is Jill Lynn Nunemaker. This is the development manager for Spokane County Public Libraries. Jill Lynn, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for inviting me. Happy to be here, Steve, and thank you for that warm introduction.
No doubt. What coffee are you drinking?
I am drinking, it's an East Coast brand called Chock full of Nuts. It's hard to find. Yeah,
it was just Atticus. I was loving it.
Oh, I love Atticus.
No doubt. It was good
they
times.
Have fabulous coffee. Yeah.
Jill Lynn, what's happening?
Everything. I work for a library district, the Spokane County Library District, so everything's happening all the time.
I bet.
So, yeah.
I know you're building stuff, you're remodeling stuff,
Exactly.
New programs are happening
all the time. All the time. Our programs are always evolving, which I love. And every 3 times a year, we have our magazine that comes out, Engage. So pick up your copy today at any Spokane County Library District.
So what's in there?
A little bit of everything. There's something in here for everybody. So this just dropped on let's see here, October 1st. So
Nice.
This has all of our programs from October to January listed in there, and there are some gems. We have 11 library locations, and during the first part of the pandemic, to differentiate us from SPL, and today we're in a lovely Spokane Public Library building downtown.
We are,
this
right
is a
downtown.
lovely space, and we partner with them frequently. But the county library services are separate from the municipal library services.
Yeah, so like my library out at Medical Lake, that is Spokane County Library.
Yes, exactly. So during the first part of the pandemic, when everybody was doing Zoom, I would bring a donut to Zoom presentations or any Zoom networking events. I would go out and buy a glazed donut with sprinkles on it, or just a plain glazed, and I would get 11 chocolate chips and strategically place them around the donut, and say, I work for the Spokane County Library District. We have 11 library locations that are like a donut. And then the city of Spokane is right in the middle, is in the center. So just so people would be able to differentiate between the two.
It's genius.
We
can all
I'm a
understand
visual
that.
person, yes.
Everybody understands that.
Yes, exactly. Did you read the directions, Jill? No, I didn't, but I picture read my way through. So for those visual learners out there, we have 3 libraries out in the West Plains area, 2 up north Spokane and Deer Park, 3 out in like the Valley area on Argonne, and a brand new library in Spokane Valley across from the City Hall. And location
so down on
Otis
Sprague
Orchards.
out there?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Then Moran Prairie and Fairfield, and 3 out in the West Plains. So, yeah. So we got our bases covered. So
Definitely.
Yeah.
What do libraries look like these days? Because, I'm just watching them evolve since when I was a kid, Go in, I could get a tape and then CDs. That was sweet when that happened. And, traditional books. But now it's like a library of things.
Oh my gosh, I love talking about our library of things. So you can still check out books. We still have books on the shelves made of paper. Do
you read books of paper?
I do.
Or are you electronic?
I am not electronic. Okay. In fact, I was chatting with my daughter's teacher yesterday, and they just did like a persuasive writing component in her English class. And she wrote hers on why she prefers paper books over like e-readers. But I know. I'm like, I had no idea she did that for her persuasive essay. But if you're an e-reader, you can download ebooks onto your Kindle or whatever device that you have.
That's incredible.
So we offer
I like real books too, by
me
the
too.
way. I just can't help it.
And you could check out DVDs, CDs, tons of digital resources. But in addition to that, we have some fabulous programs too. So, and there's something for everybody. And if you can't physically pop into our libraries for a program, a lot of them are online. So we found that is
so this is so accessible.
It's incredibly accessible. So if you're an entrepreneur, we have small business workshops through SCORE. We partner with SCORE, and once a month we do, it's kind of like a lunch and learn almost. It's free. You register. It's at noon once a month, and there's different topics on how to write a business plan, how to negotiate and negotiate contracts. Just something for everybody in the small business and entrepreneurial world.
I hope our producer Tony's listening right now, because he's always trying to try new businesses and he's going places.
Oh, yeah.
He's got to show up.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So our SCORE business workshops are hugely popular, and we love partnering with SCORE through that. But we also have digital resources for entrepreneurs and small business owners here. We have the Gale business plan builder. So that's kind of a scary part of starting your own business. It's like, I have this great idea. I know how to implement it, but how do I write a 50, 60 page business plan?
Scares me. So, and I've done it.
Exactly. So this really prompts you through. You just kind of follow the prompts. And if you're like, this module doesn't fit my needs, then you can just skip over it. And there's like a nonprofit business plan and a for-profit. So it's really great. So we have those types of online programs. And then we also have like master gardening programs and all sorts of things.
That's
online.
One of my favorite parts about our library is the seed library.
The seed library. Yes. Yeah.
Hot dang. I have been able
it.
to grow some amazing heirloom tomatoes that were in there.
Oh, that's great to hear.
I found some weird squashes I'd never heard about. I was like, all right, let's try this out. And whoever is, it's like take some, give some, right?
Yes.
And I love that. It's community right there, right in front of me.
It is, because somebody might have a bounty of, like for me at home, I always every year have tons of like Queen Anne's lace and hollyhock seeds, but somebody else might have tons of like black-eyed Susan seeds or tomato seeds. So it's great being able to bring those resources in. And if you pick up our latest copy of Engage, there's a one-page article on the seed library asking everybody to bring their seeds back, because it's that time of year, and then we'll prep them, and then come spring, those will be made available again to our communities. And it's great too, because with the seeds, they've kind of microclimatized to the area as well. So
that makes sense.
Yeah.
And so each generation that comes up, they're just made for here.
Nature. Yeah. And growing our own
I'm
food.
into it.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Yeah. So the seed libraries, that's one of my favorite programs, because I'm a gardener too. So, and you had asked about our library of things. Yeah. Out of everything that we offer, that I think is the most progressive and unique, because occasionally I'll get people come up to me and be, oh, you guys just have books. It's like, no, we don't. We do not just have books. There is a world of wonder out there to explore. So we literally have something for everybody. And I think the Library of Things is the biggest testament to that. So you can check out.
What's the weirdest thing that's in there?
Oh my gosh.
Or unique, maybe.
Unique. We have telescopes.
What?
Yes, we have telescopes. Okay. And I know by the time this airs, this will be not relevant until the next eclipse, but we have sinoculars as well. So we have the solar eclipse coming up, and we have sinoculars so you can view the eclipse. We have sewing machines.
Whoa.
Yes, pickleball sets.
That's hot right now.
I know, isn't it? Yeah. So we've been able to add pickleball sets, sinoculars to the catalog, as well as like inflatable movie screen projectors for the summer months, and you can rent a movie projector. So
wow, my mind's blown right now.
I know, it's amazing what we offer. So. We have a nonprofit associated with the County Library District called the Library Foundation of Spokane County. And this past April, that's our big fundraising campaign or big fundraising push. And every year we find a program that's most in need of funding. And last year it was the Library of Things. So we really wanted to boost our offerings because that's such a fun collection. And so the Library Foundation fundraised to add more of these items to the Library of Things, and ukuleles and all sorts of fun things.
Okay,
and
so
Instant Pots.
You want to learn how to
Yes,
cook an Instant
yes.
Pot? Here we go. Well, how does someone access that? Like, do they go on, the library's website? Do they
Yes.
go inside of a library? How do they do it?
It's online at scld.org. And it's right there on the front page. So we have an advertisement for the Library of Things, and you can click on that link on our front page, and it'll take you right to there, and you can kind of peruse the offerings of what's available through the Library of Things currently. So we're always adding fun stuff. Yeah, there's like Legos in there.
Did y'all do a podcast studio like the Spokane, libraries?
Did.
Okay.
Yes, we did.
I know when our executive producer, Dana Devine, said, hey, this is available. It's brand new. We're the first people in here, by the way. We're the very first ones to walk through the door and say, yep, we're here.
Awesome.
Yeah, so a year later, here we go.
I love our new podcast studio. It's the STCU Podcast Studio, which is located at the new Spokane Valley Library, which opened back in June.
Nice.
It's across the street from City Hall in the Valley, and it is such a great space. We're so fortunate to have STCU sponsoring it because they are such a great partnership. Their values and mission, I think, dovetails nicely with ours because they value education and the arts and culture. So it's been a wonderful partnership working with them. And we even have programs that are specific to the STCU Studio.
Okay, so like kids can come learn
how to do what we're doing here.
Right.
Exactly.
On.
Yeah. So they can do their own podcast. You can record your own album. So you and I both, McBee. So just full disclosure, Steve, before I came today, I kept saying in my head, okay, I can't call McBee.
I think you can.
Can I call
you McBee? You can.
Okay, good. All right.
We're all friends here.
So we're huge music fans, and we
No
bonded over some great tunes. So you can record and we know how expensive it is for bands.
Yeah, it's not measured in thousands; it's tens of thousands.
Tens of thousands. So it's pretty prohibitive, and we have some great talent out there. So if you're a musician and the whole pay-to-play thing is just not in your budget. If you're, eating mac and cheese and you're like, I can't book a recording studio, come on down to the STCU studio at the Spokane Valley Library.
So incredible.
All we ask is that if you become famous, you have to thank us in your liner notes. As an STCU. That's all we ask. I don't think it's much.
Not much.
So, no, not at all. But we have some great programs, too, that teach people these the tech behind it. You can take tours of the studio. And if you're thinking to yourself, I'm not into like AV, because we have an AV club, too, that meets on Saturdays there. I'm not into audiovisual things. How is this relevant to me? We also have create your own holiday card at the STCU Studio. Yes. Yeah. So you can come in, take photos, create your own holiday card right there with all the tech equipment that we have. That program just came and went, but we have an upcoming one for holiday cards that's kind of more wacky, like create your wacky, zany holiday card. And
makes me want to come down there and do that.
You should. Yeah. You should. And I just mentioned about Legos being available for checkout in the Library of Things, but we also have a Lego-related program, like a stop-motion animation with Legos. So you can check out Legos through the Library of Things, create your whole universe, and then film it stop-motion action
one
animation.
Place.
Yeah, your one-stop shop.
So
literally.
Where's the vision for all this coming from? Because it's libraries have come a long way.
Yeah.
So as community continues to get built, where's this coming from? Yeah, I'm real curious.
It's an ongoing dialogue. So our librarians are fabulous to work with, and I'm not saying that just because my employer pays me. We have such a great group of people, and our librarians are constantly doing like professional and betterment, and we're tapped into ALA and the WLA, the Washington Library Association, as well.
Is this unique to our area, or is this happening all over the country?
Well, there's facets of libraries that are unique to our area. I'm a librarian by trade, an archivist. That's what my background's in. So I fundraise for our county libraries. I'm our development manager. But I have a background as a librarian. So when I moved here to Washington State 7 years ago, I knew that Washington State and New Jersey have some of the most stringent laws about librarianship and working as a librarian.
Okay.
So you have to have
You have barriers to entry?
sort
So
of.
we take librarians and libraries seriously.
I view it more, very much so,
Okay.
in Washington State. So there's high standards. You need to have a specific certificate to be a librarian here. In addition to that, you have to have an MLIS from an accredited ALA university. So, and that's those laws
Dang.
aren't elsewhere in the United States. Just Washington and New Jersey have these strict laws. But also for funding sources, I can't speak for SPL, but more than likely, since they're a public library as well, our county libraries were funded through public taxpayer dollars, through property taxes. And that really dictates what we can spend funds on as well here in Washington State. So for some of the extras, as well as some of the necessities, we have our library foundation. So our budget strictly goes to capital projects, our collections, our digital resources, paying salaries. So it's really kind of the nuts and bolts, but kind of the sexier bits, so to speak.
Yeah, that's the icing on the cake.
The icing
that
on
you
the
can do it.
cake, and then these large-scale capital projects or grant funding, you really need a nonprofit for these sorts of things.
So that's the vehicle to...
That's the vehicle for it, yeah. So we have a lot of programs that the Library Foundation funds. Some of the collections in the Library of Things they fundraised for back in April. But we also have other programs that are way cool. So like I was saying, we look at broad national dialogue around librarianship, and then what's specific to our areas. I know our librarians are out there chatting with our communities and getting community members' feedback. So
we're looking at needs, hearing what we need.
Exactly. So there's things that are specific to some of our more rural libraries, because that's what we hear is needed in the community, So we get that feedback and implement accordingly, and then we have programs that are countywide as well. So it's kind of that ebb and flow, that dialogue, and just seeing in broader culture what's needed in the community. How do libraries evolve on a more macro level as well? And I love the fact that some of our programs are things. My first library job was back in the mid-aughts or mid-2000s there. And so I've been working in libraries and museums on and off since then. And just to see the kind of things that are offered now that weren't offered maybe 15, 20 years ago, such as we partner with the Spokane Symphony as well. In addition to...
You can get symphony tickets?
You can get symphony tickets. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
And museum passes to either the Mobius or to the MAC, to the Northwest Museum of Arts and Culture.
That's so sweet.
Isn't that awesome? So our Library Foundation has also fundraised for those passes as well.
So yeah, libraries have always been gathering places, that community building, and just here in Spokane, like here at this library, we're seeing like there's a social services element that's happening in libraries too right now. Is being a place where folks who are, unhoused can, be.
Yeah.
Is that happening in the county district too?
It does, yes. So we face the same things that happen in more urban libraries. Most of our libraries are in suburban settings, and a lot of our librarians interact and partner with some of the nonprofit organizations that are helping members in our community who are maybe housing insecure, facing food shortages at home, and help them find those resources. So that's one thing too that our employer encourages us to do. It's very much about partnership.
Right.
You
can't do it all.
You can't
right?
do it all alone. It's very much about partnership and working with other organizations here in our community. I think that's what makes Spokane so special, and the Spokane County area in general so special. I've never lived anywhere else where there's that sense of community and partnership, and to help our communities thrive and in better people's lives. And I absolutely love that.
It is, and you have a unique perspective. You've been a lot of places.
Yes, I have. Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's good to hear that, because sometimes we might, I know I do, I get blind to it.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, this is a special place.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we want to remind everyone where you live. It's like, no, we do good, and we can continue to do better.
Oh, I think so. Yeah, I proactively chose Spokane for that reason. People say, why did you move here? It wasn't because I had like a job at the time, because I didn't move up here for a job.
Keep going. No. We want to know more, because that's crazy talk. We love it.
Well, this was back 7 years ago, back with when it was either the city of Spokane or Visit Spokane or GSI had the whole near nature, near perfect.
Yep.
And I was sold on that.
It worked.
It worked. I'm here. Thank you. So I moved up here, multiple generations. It's a very small family, but
where were you before?
A place that can't be named. The place that nobody wants to name.
Sacramento?
A little further south, but in the same state. Yes. So
nice.
Actually, I'm from a town called Redlands, California. It's in between Palm Springs and Los Angeles.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a great place to be from, but it's very congested. We have a huge mountain range behind the valley where I lived, called the San Bernardino Mountains, and you can't even see it from the valley because there's so much smog. So,
really?
Yeah. So the whole near nature, near perfect thing sold me.
I'm going down there, by the way. I haven't been to Palm Springs ever, but I
Oh.
got connected up with the Whitworth Institute of Leadership.
Yes.
And so
they go to Palm Desert.
Yes.
Yes.
And so it's Palm Springs this
Oh,
year.
Palm Springs this year. So if
Yep,
you need
so
like restaurant
I'm
suggestions,
so just holler at you.
Yeah, let
Okay.
me know. I can tell you where to go.
Nice,
So,
because I've never been down there, so
yeah, it's
looking
fun.
forward to it.
It's-
Maybe I can have a smogless day.
Well, if you're down in the desert, you probably will get a smogless day. Yeah, because the further east that you drive out of LA and because they're called from LA to Palm Springs, that middle area is called the Inland Empire.
Okay.
So I told people that I was moving from one Inland Empire to the other.
Yeah, you were.
My area code down there was 909. So I'm like 909 to 509. So yeah.
See, it was meant to be.
It was meant to be. It was meant to be, McBee.
Okay, so you came up here and you didn't know exactly where you were going to work.
Nope. I walked my last trip up here before my family moved. I walked into Gonzaga, into the Foley Library, and I said, let me just see if they have any jobs available. And my background as an archivist, there's very few jobs. They're few and far between. So I walked into their archives and special collections, and it just so happened that the archivist there was going on sabbatical the week after
timing.
I moved here. And they're like, we can't hire you full-time permanent, but we can give you a temporary job. So it worked out well. It worked out well. So I was there at Gonzaga for 7-8 months and loved it. Loved my time there. But
started to settle into the city.
It's hard to,
start to see what's going on here.
Exactly. Yeah. And it was great to be able to see the university campus and in that community too, because that's there at GU. That's a real sense of community. I live up north. I walk Whitworth's campus frequently. My daughter's there for different events.
Pretty.
It's gorgeous. I love all of our college campuses, and then even down at like Eastern. I mean, that's beautiful. I've been to like chamber events for West Plains out there, and it's just gorgeous.
I know I live out by there,
So,
and our
yeah.
daughter, she's going to school out there and Running Start, and so Yeah, it's always nice to go walk around.
Yeah.
The trees are turning right now. Yeah,
it's beautiful.
Our campuses are gorgeous.
And that was actually one of the draws to moving here too, is the fact that we have multiple hospitals close by, as well as multiple great both private and public schools. So that was something that I valued, in addition to being in nature and being able to see mountains that were 5 feet away and not having like a curtain of smog blocking them.
Like, I can breathe.
I can breathe, yes.
Okay, I got to ask,
Yes.
like archivists. So like
Yes.
speaking of Eastern, like when you drive out by there, you see this Washington State Archives.
Yes.
And I'm like, what is that? And I never like explored it. So I think I get to know now. What does an archivist do? What does that world look like?
So my background is in, my graduate degrees are in public history. And what that is that's historic preservation. That's the special collections. So the books on vellum, those go to the special collections. Or if it's county records, the
For
old
those
documents
people who
with,
don't
like,
know what
mining.
vellum is,
Yes.
like you got to put that through
Yeah.
like the machine. You're looking through.
Vellum, that vellum is like leather, like the
Okay.
leather bound books from like the medieval period. So that's what goes to special collections. If you have any of those in your organization, in preserving those documents, I worked a lot with like government documents. So most of them aren't on vellum, no illuminated manuscripts, but I've worked in government archives a lot throughout my career. And that was
So it's
preserving
literally
maps,
preserving history.
assessor, township and range, so maps. So
there's
the
like-
Eastern Washington.
there's a
State
room
Archives
back
is out
here.
there in Cheney. Yes,
That we see the archives.
and there's a fabulous collection there. Yeah, it's so if you have a historic home here in town, there or the MAC archives would be the first place to look. So it's a fun world, but there's few professional opportunities, and when people get into those jobs, they hang on to them for dear life.
I can imagine,
because those jobs don't come around. So when I moved here, I thought that I might have to change careers, and I was okay with that. It was more important where I work or where I lived than what I did. So when this fundraising position came open, this philanthropy job with the county libraries, I was so excited. I was very excited. So because I'm very
I get to stay in the library
I get to
world.
stay in the library world, and it's a great.
And you're
group of-
made for it.
Oh,
Like, you
thank
can talk to
you.
anyone.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's so easy too with our programs. It's just the wide range of programs and services that we offer. So
Yeah, people want to get involved with that, right?
they do, and a lot of it's seasonal. A lot of it is very current for what's going on. Like right now, we have coming up. We've already had 2 happen, but I think there's 5 or 6, and some will be occurring after Halloween. But we have like a Halloween costume swap. That's like a new program that we have. We also have our writers conference, and this is going on its 7th year. That's coming up later this month. So then that's an annual event. It's at was at the North Spokane Library, but it has gotten so big that we're now partnering with SPL. It's a 2-day event.
Wow.
Yes.
So people are coming in.
People
from
are
all
coming
over.
in from all over. There's different speakers that come in. There's different sessions that teach about the creative writing process, how to get published. And that's all in lead up for November, which is National Novel Writers Month. I think that's
Nice.
NaNoWriMo. Yeah.
Bravo.
Got to get a running start on that one. So, yeah. So it's great. And our Library Foundation last year sponsored food trucks that came in and like a coffee break there. So the Library Foundation does so much great work, and it's a variety of things. And that's just another example of what they sponsor. And they've sponsored the MAC passes as well. And we have a very generous donor who sponsors the Mobius passes, and that comes out of the Diane Zahand Memorial Fund. And Diane was a school teacher out in Spokane Valley who loved children, loved education, had an inquisitive mind, loved learning, and her passion just came across in everything that she did. And unfortunately, Diane passed away a decade ago, and to preserve her memory,
legacy
her
is
legacy
living.
is living. She started the Prism School out in Spokane Valley, And she loved early learning, and STEM was her two biggest passions. So the Diane Ezehand Memorial Fund is what sponsors our Mobius passes. So
way cool.
It is way cool. So if anybody out there has anything that they're passionate about or would like to memorialize a loved one who was very passionate about something, by all means, you
reach out to
reach
you,
out
right?
and
you heard
yes,
it here.
that's support scld.org. That's our Library Foundation's website. So, and it'll list ways to give, different ways to give, some of the programs that the Library Foundation has funded, and just going on to our scld.org, the Library District's main website, you can really see the way cool programs that we have, and they're all available for funding, and would be happy to promote that if it's an organization or an individual donor.
Well, I know there's a lot of people who are listening right now that just they want to get involved, and now we know how, and we're just scratching the surface.
Yeah.
But call Jill Lynn. She'll buy you a cup of coffee. She'll tell you all about how you can support the Spokane, County Public Library world.
Yes.
And we're gonna continue to help you.
Or email us at foundation@scld.org.
Voila.
So foundation@scld.org. Yeah.
Jill Lynn, thanks for coming today. Thanks for helping us out, understand a little bit more. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you so much, Steve. It's always great to chat with you and to chat about libraries. I could
it's
chat
fun.
all day about this.
No doubt.
Happy to be on the program. Thank you for inviting me.
Thanks for being here.
Thanks.